let's get right into this, because you heard what I had to say in the first segment of this show. Then you sit down and you, what's the word for it? You were surprised to hear that maybe people are criticizing Nick Nurse for taking that timeout with 3 minutes to go, and then everything changed from there on out. Why do you profess a little bit of surprise on that front, BJ?
Well, when you watch how the game was being played last night, they were clawing and fighting to get back in the game. They were down 10, 11 points in a significant part of this game. Mm-hmm. And this wasn't a game where it was going back and forth, seesawing, who was exchanging within the game. So for them, they had to spend a lot of effort and energy just to get back in the game, right? You have a 12 to 15 point swing. During that time, from they were down 10, 11, they go up,
6.
They go up 6.
Yes.
So that's a 16, 17 point swing. And I thought at that time, because of the energy that they had to expend to get back in the game, that it was a great timeout, because you give your players an opportunity to regroup, kind of get them back into the focus of let's close this game. It wasn't a game where they had control of the game all game. That was their first, if I recall, that was their first lead during the course of the game. And if you're going to win a game at that stage, defensively, you have to get a stop. Right? Offensively, the only thing that I saw that really bothered me during the course of that run there was Kyle Lowry drives to the basket and didn't get a shot up at a critical moment of the game. Even if it gets blocked, just get a shot up. He throws it out to, I think it was Marc Gasol. It's a turnover. That, to me, was more critical than the timeout, because you always want to get up a shot. If you get up a shot, you might get an offensive rebound, you might get a tip in, or more importantly, you might get it and you can start the shot clock over. So I thought at that time it was a good timeout to give his team an opportunity to say, you know what, we have to get a good shot up every time down, and defensively we have to get a stop, which they never got a stop at the waning moments of the game.
But what about the idea that Kerr, your former teammate, he had his back against the wall? The reason why Kawhi went off on that 10-0 personal run and did take the lead, and that, it caused Kerr to take a couple of timeouts in it, leaving him with only one timeout left. He could not stop that run towards the end of it, because he's not going to use his last timeout with 3 minutes to go. Instead, Nick Nurse, because he didn't want to lose the timeout that he was going to lose if he didn't call it, because they were going to be under 3 minutes. He's the one who stopped. He's the one who gave the Warriors also a chance to regroup and get a blow here. And we all saw what happened after that.
Yeah, well, you have to stop the other team. And to me, the heart and soul of both teams is their ability to get a stop. You can score as many points as you want. It wasn't a lot of points scored last night if you compare them to the 4 previous games, but defensively, you have to have your guys in sync to get a stop at that stage of the game. And the Warriors were able to score, and that, to me, was the deciding factor of the game. It wasn't about what I was doing offensively. That last possession for the Toronto Raptors, to me, was a great defensive sequence, because you looked at the Warriors, and what the Warriors did, they guarded Kawhi with 3 players. They had Klay on them. Mm-hmm. Then they bring Andre Iguodala at a very unique angle. Yes. And then Draymond is guarding 3 people on the other side. He's guarding Van Fleet. He's guarding Marc Gasol, and he gets out and recovers.
He even blocked the shot on Lowry.
Lowry. So that what they were doing, they said, we have to get a stop in order to win this game. And I think the Raptors were doing the same. We can focus in on the offensive end, but defensively, look, if you have a chance to win at a championship level, you have to stop the other team at some point. And they weren't able to do it. And when I say the Toronto Raptors weren't able to do it. They just needed one stop. That's all they needed, was one stop last night. They win the game. But overall, you know what? They had a chance to win it. If you say, hey, we got a chance to win it with one shot at the end, I'm going to take those chances. And last night they didn't make that shot. So here we are going into Game 6.
And the unspoken word and the emotions of a game and how that can potentially carry over. It's tough to not sit here and think. And again, I know you said Nick Nurse understands his team better than I would sitting here. And I know you're saying that the amount of energy that was expended to just get that 6-point lead was significant enough that he felt the need to call a timeout. It's just tough to sit here and not think that that was their last best shot, potentially, to win this whole thing. I understand that they're healthier, and I understand that they're not a team that's going to fold, that they have a certain mental fortitude that is significant, and they take it from number 2, and they all soak it in, and they're a Kawhi-led team. It just feels that way to me right now.
Yes and no, but I will say this. You know, first you have to respect the Warriors. The Warriors are not going to go down without a fight.
I mean,
they've proven.
Good Lord, right?
You got to knock them out, okay?
Yeah.
You're going to have to knock them out. In the end, the Warriors made such a commitment to Kawhi Leonard. It wasn't like the Raptors came back. Kawhi Leonard had a 10-0 run that it was basically 1 versus 5. Kawhi was like,
it's amazing.
Like it was like one of those moments. Like it's one of those. Wow, you're just watching this young man basically pick his moment, which was perfect timing to pick his moment where he was going to elevate his game to an entirely different level that no one else on the floor could play at. And he had like a stretch there. You just like it was Kawhi versus the Warriors, and Kawhi was winning that game. And the Warriors made a commitment to not only guard him with Klay Thompson, Andre was going to come and double, and Draymond Green was like the third defender. So clearly they are aware of how magnificent of a player Kawhi Leonard is. And it's important that you allow the other players to say, because I was one of those guys, it's only normal for them to only watch a Michael Jordan. Like I had to catch myself from time to time saying, oh, I got to play because Michael Jordan was just doing things all by himself. Mm-hmm. So it could have been, Coach Nurse could have said, look, guys, we have to get engaged, the other 4 guys, to figure out what we need to do and offensively to get themselves organized, because Kawhi Leonard was going on a run all by himself, which was an incredible thing to watch last night.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.